Hi, we're continuing from verse 2. It got cut off in the middle. We were describing the word Hevel and how it doesn't mean air as in the air that floats around us. The Hebrew word for that is avir, but what it means is respirated air, and it uses air as a metaphor for everything. He says hakol. Hakol means everything. So what Shlomo is telling us that he has learned in his lifetime, kohelet, the knowledge that he has amassed, that he's collected and gathered over the course of his lifetime, is that everything is like respirated air. Air is not inherently, intrinsically bad or good or valuable or invaluable. It's necessary, right? We need air even more urgently than we need food or water or shelter, right? We can go a couple days without food and water. You can't go more than a few minutes without air. It's vital, and yet the value of the air is what we make of it. It's a tool, right? So we don't kind of like put air in a museum or hang it on our wall. We don't appreciate it for what it is. We appreciate it based on what we use it for, what we do with it. So as we respirate our air, right, we can count our life in a way in the number of breaths that we take, right, through how we respirate. Nobody will write in their journal, what did I do today? I breathed, I inhaled and I exhaled, I respirated all day long, right? This is something that we do kind of involuntarily most of the time if we're well, if we're healthy, right? And what we do with our breath, what we do with our lifetime, it just boils down to the choices that we make, right? What we make out of it. And so when Shlomo says, when he describes everything in the 7 days of creation, everything in the world of the physical, even in human beings ourselves, we're not inherently bad or good. It's not inherently bad or good. It's really just a question of boils down to what choices are we going to make? What are we going to do with it? And in that sense, it's like Hevel. So yes, if a person wastes his life, then that is futility. That is vanity, right? If a person capitalizes, maximizes on his life, then that is the vitality. Like we need air, right? That's the whole point of life, is to make the most out of it, and to make the best choices that we can. And he's going to go through in the upcoming verses and chapters, looking at different values, different pursuits, different goals and victories that people can have in life, and figure out where is a good place to invest our breathing, where is a good way to invest this Havelim that we're dealing with. But ultimately, he keeps coming back to Hakol Hevel. And Hakol Hevel kind of begs the question, like, what's the point of life? If you ask the question, what's the point of life, you could ask it rhetorically, in which case it's sort of a depressing, discouraging, like, well, what's the point of anything? There's no point, right? It implies that. Or you could ask the question sincerely, what is the point of life? And so the fact that he dedicates these 12 chapters to exploring and trying to figure out the answer shows that he's not asking it in the way that a lot of people interpret it as existential angst, completely giving up on things, but rather really just trying to explore and find answers to all these questions. And he doesn't necessarily come up with definitive answers. He comes up with a lot of possibilities and a lot of experiences and philosophizes about it, but he's going to take us along with him on this journey to figure out how he wants to direct his efforts in getting the most out of his life.